To the final step of creating an actual draft of this essay. So what I'm going to do finally is take you through how you take this great big document with all kinds of strange stuff in it and make that into a polished final draft that you would turn into a teacher. Don't get sloppy now. These are some of the easiest points to get, but they're also some of the easiest to lose when you're turning in a paper. And when you go on to college or another, place where you're doing additional essays, you don't want to advertise the fact that maybe the quality isn't great. Let's at least make the formatting look perfect. So here's what I'm going to advise you to do. Just in case you accidentally end up deleting something you shouldn't, it's probably a good idea to make a copy of this document and have that be what you work in. So let me explain what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to File, Make a Copy, and then I'm going to go ahead and close my original just to make sure it's out of the way. And I am going to change this to rough draft. Yours won't say example. I'm just making sure mine says example. And it would actually be even more helpful if you would put your last name at the beginning. Like mine's Simpson, I would do that. I'm not going to do that because it'll confuse you guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to try to clean up a few things. So let's go ahead and take care of page numbers first, because I've already got a header established in this writing guide, and so you just have to change a couple of things and this part will be handled. So instead of having it say whatever it says up here like this, you're just going to change that to your last name. Obviously my last name's Simpson. Now I cannot use blue type. I need to change it to black. And this is a little detail. See how the page number is also blue? I have to go over here separately and change that to black. In addition, some teachers will take Lexand Deca as a final draft font that's acceptable to use. I think that trend will be coming. It's a dyslexia-friendly font. It's easy to read. However, when you're looking at the college level, they may not. It's safest to use Arial or Times New Roman. So Times New Roman 11 is acceptable, or Arial 12. So I'm going to go ahead and look for some Times New Roman. I like Times New Roman. Same here, and I'm going to change that to 12-point font, or I'm sorry, 11-point font. And same with my last name, and this just takes time, 11-point font, Times New Roman. All right, that part's done. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is there is a lot of stuff in here that is not my writing. I need to get rid of that stuff and be left only with my own writing. So this beginning part here, you can get rid of it. All of this stuff here, you're just going to delete it. All of this stuff here, you're going to delete it. The quick links, that's not your writing, delete it. Tips for writing, also not your words. Gosh, we haven't even gotten to your words yet, have we? All of this stuff, delete that. And it takes me a minute because I don't accidentally want to delete my own stuff. So the gathering evidence step, if I've already done the thing I need to do with the works cited page, I can get rid of all of this as well. Same with the resource I found on my own, because these are just my notes, not my actual writing. Now there is my introduction. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take it all the way up to the top of the page for now. Make sure I indent my first line. Okay, there's my introduction. Now I'm going to delete all the extra stuff and be left with my first body paragraph. Oh, I'm just deleting wildly. All these notes that I took, I don't need the notes that I took because I've already used them. All that can go now in my second copy here. I'm going to get rid of all these notes that I took because I don't need the notes I took. I didn't even use this source, so I really don't need that. And look, I'm left with my paragraph. Now, we're going to go ahead and set ourselves up for success here. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this paragraph is sitting right below my other paragraph with no extra spaces in between. And I made sure that I hit the tab button just to take me over a little bit, and that shows that I have a new paragraph. All right, now we're getting ready to delete all the extra stuff for our second body paragraph. All of this can go. These are not my words. I don't need any of this stuff. I don't need any of this stuff. These notes that I took, I'm done with that. So in this copy, I'm getting rid of all of that. Same with the resource I found on my own. I'm just going to make a little space. I don't need any of this. I've already done what I needed to do with that. Oh, now we're getting down to where it's my words. And once again, I'm going to set myself up for formatting success. I'm putting it right below the other line and hitting tab once. See how there's no spaces between my paragraphs? That tab, that spacing, shows me that a new paragraph has started. All right, let's keep going. Let's delete all this stuff we don't need. All right, here we go. Step 5, we don't need all this. This isn't my words. And see, I'm just making sure I'm being a little bit careful not to delete things I actually need. But that's why I made a copy of this document. So like all of this stuff, like the image of the book, you don't need that. I can go ahead and delete that out of there. All these page numbers, I don't need any of them. Okay, so now I've gotten to the place where I'm at my third body paragraph. I don't need this. And I'm going to set myself up for formatting success once again by making sure that this paragraph is right underneath the other one. Hit tab one time, no extra spaces in there. All right, next, I'm going to delete all the stuff I don't need here. I bet you're noticing a theme. Okay, concluding paragraph. There it is. I'm going to make sure it's sandwiched right up underneath the other one. And now works cited page is going to get a little weird, but I'll show you everything you need to know about that. Okay, get rid of all this. Get rid of all this. I am going to go ahead and leave a little bit of space just so I don't accidentally do something strange there. And all of this can go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do a few things. I'm going to make sure that my font is consistent for starters. So let me show you how you can do that. We're just going to select everything. I think it's Option A. Oops. Command A. Yeah, Command A. I'm going to change the size of my font because I'm using Times New Roman to 11. All of my font will be 11. And all of my font will be Times New Roman now. Okay, so far so good. Let's just make sure all that's looking pretty solid. There's a lot squished on one page right now, right? Next thing I need to do is standardize my margins. So I'm going to go to File. We're going to go to Page Setup. And see how all the margins are too narrow? They're 1/2 inch. All of your margins should be 1 inch. So you're just going to change it. Make sure you get them all. Hit OK. Okay, now I've got 1 inch margins. All right, so let me just see if there's anything else strange up here with my header. I think I have some weird extra spaces in my header. If it looks like you have that as well, you may want to delete those out. I just noticed that didn't look quite right. Okay, so now I'm going to actually do like my header box. That's where I put my name and my teacher's name and all of that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to go up here, make sure that I'm all the way up at the top. I'm going to type my first and last name. And now I'm going to type the course I'm taking, English 9. You could also say ELA 1. That would work. You're going to put the names of your instructors next. Ms. Miller and Ms. Simpson. I know it's kind of weird that like I'm the author and I'm grading it. And the last thing you're going to do is go ahead and put, oh, I'm sorry, you have one more thing. You're going to tell me your hour. Sorry, hour. Let's say you're in 6th hour. I don't know, whatever hour you're in. And then finally the date in military notation. So usually there's a lot of different ways you can do the date, but there's really only one correct way when you're MLA formatting. So the due date of this essay is 22 January 2021. Now, obviously, if this isn't the due date of your paper for your class, you wouldn't want to do that. You're going to put the actual due date of your paper. Next, we're going to do a title. Now, when we have done titles in the past, when you've done things like personal narrative essays, the idea is to have a snappy, catchy, fun title. Informational essays are a little different. So some of the things are going to be the same, like the formatting, but the important thing is to create a title that tells you specifically what's going to be covered in the paper. So let me give you an example. Let's go ahead and do our formatting first. We're going to center the line, and it's 11-point font, Times New Roman, nothing fancy. Don't make it big, don't make it bold, don't underline it. You're going to capitalize each of the words in the title. And so my essay is about ageism in Of Mice and Men. So I'm just going to type that as my title. Ageism in Of Mice and Men. I may go back and make this title fancier. So yeah, I think that's okay for now. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to get ready to do some more formatting stuff. All right, so once again, we're gonna go up here and we're gonna select everything. We're going to go to Command A to select it all. And now we're going to double space the essay. So up here, you're gonna go up to your line spacing. I'm sorry, that's a line. There's our line spacing. And we're going to go to double. And we're going to check a few things. So first off, notice my title isn't big, it isn't bold, it isn't 20-point font. It's right there on top of the first paragraph with just double spacing in between. Probably the #1 error I see kids make is they end up with extra spaces between their paragraphs. Let me demonstrate what it would look like if I had done this wrong. If your paper looks like this, or worse yet, like this is not proper formatting. You need to delete those extra spaces. Remember, by indenting, that shows your reader that you've started a new paragraph. You don't need extra lines for that. So if it looks like that, make sure you fix it. Right, I'm just gonna go ahead, scroll down, just double checking for anything red or squiggly, anything standing out looking strange. All right, so now I'm getting down here to the bottom and I've got my works cited. The works cited is a separate page. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit enter until I am on a new page. And formatting works cited can be a little tricky. At this point, I can see where my entries begin and end. So in MLA Works Cited page, you know how when you do a paragraph, you hit tab once and it looks like that? Okay, it's kind of weird with MLA formatting. Your first line stays aligned with the left margin, just like it is. It's this line that needs to be indented. So you go to the second line. Watch what happens if I just go to the second line and hit tab. It doesn't work. Let me try it again. Go to the second line, hit tab. It's not working. Let me show you how you can make this work. I'll show you a trick. So what you're going to do is go to the second line, hit return, tab over, then go up a line. Oh heck, it's just not cooperating with me. Let me see if I can get it to go. Tab, extra lines out. I may have to look at this more carefully. The idea, though, is that you don't have anything extra in between. I may have to look at my spacing in a second here. Let me go see if I can go ahead and format this and then clean up my spacing after the fact. Yeah, because it's showing some extra spaces I don't need, but I think I can show you how to clean that up after the fact. And then there. Okay, so you can see that the spacing isn't quite right here. So just let me go ahead and look at this. I'm going to check my line spacing really fast here. Double. Okay, so I think I want to get rid of that. And then on my line spacing, I just want to make sure that I get rid of the extra spaces that I don't need. All right, so I'm just double checking. I think I may have gotten it. Yeah, it's a little strange. I do feel like that spacing looks a little spread out. But the important thing is that the first line stays aligned with the left margin, and every line after that is indented. So it's a little bit different. Make sure that your entries are in alphabetical order. So I had gone ahead and done that when I was writing my draft, so I was good to go. Let me just make sure there's nothing else strange, no additional pages that I don't need. All right, so at this point I've got a solid rough draft. I'm ready to do some proofreading and hopefully submit my essay on time.